What is going on, everybody? What's ripping? Apparently, it isn't Pippin. Yeah, Pippin is down for anybody who cashed out and wants to buy back in. It looks like it's going down, right? It's going down. Yeah, but other than that, I think, well, we see a lot of red bubbles today, right? We see a lot of red bubbles, but I think, you know, Bitcoin is hanging on. Everything is going steady, considering what's going on out there in the world when it comes to stocks and so on. Everything is crashing. So we got an interesting phenomenon happening over the last couple of weeks or so. A few interesting phenomenons that I want to get into. And, you know, that's one of them where we've been used to everything else pumping to the moon. Everything, every type of, every commodity, all stocks, everything has been pumping like crazy. But, you know, crypto has been in the gutter. And now we're seeing the opposite. Plus, we have seen for the longest time, obviously all of last year, we saw a phenomenon where anytime there's just the slightest bad news, crypto takes a dump, and it's starting to change right now. So I want to get into all that, and I'm going to talk about the reasons why and what we can expect. Expect some pumps, right? But yeah, I mean, I know that we've had, you know. Well, here's the thing. I said the last time I went live, it was a couple of days ago, I said that, you know, 90% of people lose money in crypto, right? And 90% of people at this time think that the bottom is going to be in October. So what I'm saying is, if you want to lose money, you got to be a part of the 90%. Just follow the crowd, right? Just follow the crowd. If you don't want to lose money, then don't follow the crowd and try to just examine everything, right? So this is what I've been doing. I've been examining. I thought that there wasn't enough liquidity in the market to push Bitcoin up. And likewise, you know, there's not enough liquidity in the market to keep Bitcoin up if there's bad news. But we just saw, you know, we saw a war start, and Bitcoin didn't go up. I mean, it didn't go down, but it went up, and we saw it escalating. Right now, there is some good news. Things are happening rather fast. You know, the U.S. destroyed the Iranian Navy, like 9 of their largest naval vessels, and obviously, Iran is no match for the U.S. Right. And we're seeing another phenomenon. As I'm using the word phenomenon too much, right? We're seeing something happen right now where Iran is attacking neutral countries in its backyard, which is kind of crazy. But their strategy is if they can disrupt other countries with missiles, you know, the countries would try to convince the U.S. to stop the war or something like that. But it's kind of backfiring because now all these countries are giving free rein to the U.S. to continue the war and make it get over with faster. So they play their cards wrong, right? Because now they even attacked French and English bases, right? And now countries that didn't want to get involved are now allowing the U.S. to, you know, use their bases and everything. So it's not going to work out in their favor, right? In Iranian favor, right? It's only going to make the war conclude faster and with them as clear losers, right? Yeah, I like Suey. Yeah, why not? Yeah, I like Suey. So yeah, I mean but when it comes to Bitcoin, we've been seeing something where the price is just really strong. So, you know, we know that interest rates are the lowest they've been in the last 4 years, right? Obviously, they're still a little bit too high right? It would be nice if they go down some more, right? We know the QE has already started. And, you know, there's other factors that are coming into play. One thing is, like, we just got the ISM PMI reading just yesterday for the month of January. I'm sorry, yeah, but for the month of February. So the month of January had some phenomenal results as well. It just blew away expectations, right? So ISM manufacturing PMI, we got down a little bit, and the expectation for the month of January that came out in the first week of February was 48.5. Anything below 50 is contractionary. Anything above 50 is expansionary, and it just blew away expectations at 52.6. So, and we at this particular moment we had an expected of 51.8, 52.4 came out, so it was better than expected. But it is a hair, just smidge below prior, which just means it's like now we have two readings in a row where ISM PMI, the Purchasing Managers Index, the business cycle, is in expansionary territory. So things are getting stronger. It wasn't just a fluke where we went up, right? And maybe the next reading would have been down below 50 again, right? No, it wasn't. It wasn't a fluke. Now, there are other things to consider where things might not be all that good just because of the war, right? I've seen over the last few days, I've seen gas prices go up by 15 cents. Crazy. Like a week ago, I remember the prices from a week ago, and it's like now it's nuts. So, you know, that'll definitely cause inflation, because if it costs more to transport things, then yeah, everything starts going up, right? But the other thing is that we do have to, you know, this is all good news. This is all good news, though. But there is a concern, right? Oil prices are the concern. We had prices in general go up. So this is a concern. This is why I'm saying, okay, it looks like March is going to be a good month. And generally it is. Generally March, in the last two bear markets, March has been a good month. And there were actually, what was it, like two lower highs, or local tops, whatever you want to call them, in the month of March. And they're in the last bear market. And then back in 2018, there was a high in March, and then things fall off in April. So if we continue on that trend, you know, that's probably what we're going to expect. And it's not to say that I definitely do not like saying that. I don't like saying, okay, it happened like this last time, therefore it's going to happen like this again. That'll get you into a lot of trouble. That'll definitely get you into a lot of trouble, right? People saying it takes 1 year for the bear market to bottom. Therefore, the bottom is going to be in October because it happened like this last time. And that I think people are going to get wrecked with that thinking. If you remember, not too long ago in August, everyone was saying that September is always a red month in the post-halving year, right? And everybody said, okay, I don't want to be involved in a red September, so I'm going to cash out right now, right? And they turned August red, then September was green. All right, so if 90% of the people believe one thing is going to happen, you don't want to be a part of that crowd. You want to think outside of the box. But the reasons why I think that March might be a good month, like it always is, right? Right, it's going to like mimic the past too, and April might be not too good, is because what we're looking at right here. So everything when it comes to ISM PMI was pretty good. All the readings, right? You got new orders, you got employment, and so on. But prices, look at this. Look at how bad this is, right? Prior was 59, expected was 59.5. All right, and prices. So this is the case where prices are rising. So dramatically. So we saw this last week. Right, we saw this last week with the PPI reading, the Producer Price Index. So this is reflective of the price, the ISM PMI prices indicator is reflective of the PPI reading, the producer price index reading that happened on Friday, which was very bad. So PPI month over month was bad. PPI year over year was all worse than expected. 2.9% versus 2.6%, 3.6 versus 3%. I mean, yeah, we do have a situation where Trueflation, the company known as Trueflation, that gets real-time data to gauge inflation and CPI and so on. They're seeing seeing things in real time that are much more up to date, not lagging by months like some of these indicators here. But while it may be true that inflation might be going down, we might be seeing a situation where things might be going up, because when it costs more money for the producer to produce things, that cost is passed on to the consumer. And this is not considering the war, right? When did the war start? Like the 28th, right? So this is the month of February, right? This is, and you know, same thing like PPI. This is the month of February. This is like before considering the war. This is before considering the increase of oil prices. So, you know, that's the question is, what's going to happen in April? But things start to get a little bit worse. You know, things start to get bad. Inflation going up. Hopefully employment doesn't go down. And, you know, we want to be dealing with stagflation. We might be in a little situation. We might be in a pickle in April. So we'll see. But like I was saying, this is my expectation. I have a lot of tokens. I have my favorites I'm going to get into. I keep on forgetting to put I share my spreadsheet that I've been putting my favorites on. And I have my list of L1s. Right? And I keep on forgetting to put Litecoin in there. Right? You'll see. Yeah, I'll talk about Litecoin in a second. Right? But, you know, that's what it is. I mean, we do have a strong crypto market right now. It is stronger than expected. We're seeing where finally everything else is dumping, but crypto is not. Bitcoin is not. Whereas it was always the opposite. Everything else is pumping. Gold and silver and everything you could think of it. All tech stocks, everything. But everything was pumping, you know, over the last few months and even way back. And then like, you know, then Bitcoin is in the gutter. Now it's the opposite. Yeah. Well, stocks are down. I mean, stocks are not doing good, but crypto, no. I mean, yeah, let's get more into that. So we have good PMI readings. We have employment. The PMI the last month, in the month of January, employment was bad, but this time it was good. It was new orders. It was holding things up. New orders, what is supply and deliveries? It doesn't have all of it here, but in general, employment was very bad last time around in the month of January. Then the month of February, employment is good, but prices are bad. So if everything was good, the reading for ISM PMI would be even more than what it was. But we have QE, we have PMI going up. We had other phenomenons that for some reason, just last week in Google Trends, the term buy Bitcoin is surging to its highest level in about 5 years? So peaking on February 25th. Yeah, it's kind of crazy that like lots of people searching how to buy Bitcoin right now. So, which is good, right? Which is very good. I mean, we all know the masses buying Bitcoin is what causes rallies. So, we really didn't have much of a rally end of last year. There wasn't many people searching for crypto or anything like that. Apparently they're doing it now. Maybe word is just getting around and it's really cheap. So that's good news. Maybe it's helping out that employment is going up. More people are getting jobs. So now they have money to spend too. That's always helpful. Now, the other thing that's not good, I say I'm bouncing around between the good and bad. It's a mix of everything, right? So we have this optimism index that came out today. Expected was 50.1, whereas prior was 48.8. So it was expected to get better. However, obviously the reading was today after the war has already started. Now optimism has gone down. So yeah, I mean it's true. You know, how long is this war going to last? Who the hell knows? Who the hell knows? I mean, I think the good news is obviously we don't want people to, we don't want people to get killed. But the good news is that the Iranians have attacked other countries, and now other countries are like, okay, let the U.S. do its thing. So that'll just get the war done, faster, or just get it over with. Fingers crossed that that's the case. But so yeah, we have people searching for buying Bitcoin. So that's people are buying. If there's retail buying, if there's more retail buying right now in the month of March than there were back in like November and December, then that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Everybody was dumping in November and December because they said, there's a 4-year cycle and we got to dump now. We got to get out right now. So it's sort of like just front running the long-term prediction. Right now it's like the bottom of this bear market is in October. So let's get out now because I don't want to get out. I don't want to be a part of that bottom, in 9 months from now, whatever it is. They're like, I don't want to be a part of that. So they start dumping now. And we just went down to like really like rapidly to the bottom, to the 200-week moving average. Now, is this the bottom? That's the question. I just been pondering if Bitcoin itself and crypto is becoming stronger because of things like this, because of buy Bitcoin, searching and people just getting into it, and because of the PMI going up and employment going up. If Bitcoin is getting stronger, then it begs the questions like, the bottom was at 59K. Can we go back? Can we even go back down to 59K? I don't know. It happens. Last cycle we had the collapse of FTX that put us like below the 200-week moving average. Right? We can have a collapse of another exchange too. Crypto.com or whatever. I'm not saying crypto.com is going to crash, but I'm just saying it could be something like that. The collapse of there could be a collapse of an institution, right? That's a black swan event. Doesn't have to be like a nuclear bomb exploding somewhere. It could just be like a collapse of an exchange, which would bring us down. But if it doesn't happen, it's starting to look like the crypto market is showing some strength that is strong enough to not go down. It was strong enough to not go down with the start of the war. And now we have oh yeah, hit that like button, you guys. Get those likes up. Get those likes up. We have this open. Yeah, this is another thing I was looking into. I thought it was kind of funny. A blood moon is happening today. Apparently a blood moon. Where a blood moon. So where supposedly every time there's a blood moon, lunar eclipse, whatever it is, Bitcoin sees a drop in prices. And this has happened like every single time there's been a blood moon. It happened again during the FTX collapse. It happened supposedly during the I don't know when I think this updated. Last time I showed this, I actually showed the dates. It happened like it happened during the cycle top or something like that in October. So we went down afterwards. So blame it on the blood moon, right? So, but now we're not dumping. I mean, Bitcoin is stable. Bitcoin is 68. It's been chopping around like that for all week. So even the blood moon is not even affecting. It's kind of funny. Goddamn blood moon affecting Bitcoin's price. Crazy. So yeah, that's some good things. Plus we have Jane Street. Jane Street. For those of you guys who don't know, Jane Street Capital. Jane Street Capital is a market manipulator that seems to have been taken out of the picture. They have been responsible for a 10 a.m. dump when the lowest liquidity in the market is, and they had this scheme where they All right, so what's their manipulation? They buy crypto, they buy a certain amount of crypto, Bitcoin. They open up a bunch of shorts, then they sell it. Bitcoin's price starts going down, and it turns into a cascade effect. And then they make a lot of money because of the shorting, and then they're able to buy back in at an even lower price. And it's some scheme where, and then everything stabilizes like an hour later or something like that. So this has been going on supposedly since November, and people are blaming them for the lack of a rally. I was like, I'm those sons of bitches, you know, like I was expecting, for those of you who know, who's watch my videos and see my live streams, I knew that there were two things that were causing a red November, right? When Jerome Powell, at the end of October, came out and he removed the certainty about an interest rate cut in December because the market had already priced in an interest rate cut in December. He removed that certainty. He said it might not happen. I knew we were going to get a red November, and then in combination with the longest government shutdown ever, I was like, okay, November, we're cooked in November. It's a red November. And obviously the cycle top, or whatever you want to, I don't believe it's a cycle. You know, I think the cycle top, the real cycle top, the parabolic cycle top is in 2027. But Bitcoin's top was obviously in October. But I still believed, I held on to the idea that we're going to get a Santa Claus rally. We're going to get a dead cat bounce, where the price of Bitcoin would just go up and then go back down before going into a bear market, into below the 50-week moving average. So I thought the 50-week moving average was going to be tested, because I was guilty of it, right? Because that's what happened last time in the bear market. And I thought it just, even if it didn't happen last time, regardless of all the TA and stuff like that, I thought it just made sense. But apparently, Jane Street was the one who actually robbed us of that dead cat bounce. Right? Because I was like, okay, we're going to bounce up. I think I'm going to sell a whole bunch of stuff, and I'm going to go back down. It just never happened. So now Jane Street is out of the picture. So that's bullish for crypto. So we have a lot of things going for us, right? Interest rates lower than lowest level since last bear market, 2022. We have quantitative easing happening. We have Jane Street out of the picture. We have more people searching for buy Bitcoin on Google Trends. We have the business cycle starting to pump. PMI starting to go up. We have a lot of things going for us that are saying, they're going to be telling us, we're going to have a strong market. So the only bad news is, like I'm saying, we have two levels of bad news, I guess one category of bad news, which is inflation and prices coming from two different sources, right? We have what's already going on with this ISM manufacturing prices reading for the February, because that's what's already going on. Plus, now we have the problem with the oil and the oil prices that are going to cause things to just go up. So, good news mixed with bad news. Maybe it's good news for March, might be bad news for April. Now, what happens in April? Do we come down again do we test at the bottom? Do we go back down to the 59K? Who knows? How can any of us know? A lot of people saying, yeah, of course, Bitcoin is going down to 40K. I don't know about that. I think that's a black swan event. That's like something crazy happens, right? Aside from an exchange collapse, like an exchange collapsing, the only thing that we can think of that could happen is like Russia and China get involved with the Iranian war, which I don't think is possible. Like they closed off the Strait of Hormuz, and they're causing oil tankers to back up. So that affects China. So it's like, I don't know. It's like it's really, really strange. Their decision to start attacking other countries, and even that, I don't know. So I mean, I just think it's like the opposite. I think the war is going to be over with very fast. As long as there's not boots on the ground, right? We all know about that. I've been around long enough to see the start of the Iraq war, and it's not pretty. I think it's I don't think Trump wants that type of war at all. He wants to just finish it fast. Fingers crossed. That's what he wants. And hopefully this is going to be over with by the time April starts. Because then, if we're dealing with this war in March and it actually stops, like in a month, and it's all over with, then that'll give us some really good news for us to start off with April. It'll be like, okay, inflation is starting to go haywire, but we have some good news that all oil prices are stabilizing again, right? If that happens in April. It's like, yeah, things are going haywire, but oil prices going back down. So that's what we have. Fingers crossed. That's our Goldilocks scenario of what could happen. That's like the best case scenario. And it's not unrealistic either. Based on everything that's going on, it's not unrealistic. It's just, it has to happen. Like, it would be nice for it to happen. But, yeah, that's my thoughts in a nutshell about what's going on with the market for now. I'm going to close. Yeah, it's just, I had this open and show this, but yeah, second straight expansion. It's pretty damn good news. It was a smidge lower. Right? It was like 0.2 lower than prior. So 0.4 as opposed to 0.6. But it's good. It's like, this is like saying like, let's say, for example, if Bitcoin goes above the 50-week moving average again, we can't consider it to not be a dead cat bounce until it closes above the 50-week moving average for like 2 weeks, right? It has to be above it and stay above it. You can't go up and then come back down, right? This is the same concept with the ISM PMI, where that was like, okay, we just went up, right? We just went up, but is it going to come back down? No, it did not. So that is like it gives you like a sigh of relief. The only thing is you have to be realistic and be open-minded that there could be a problem with it because there's some sort of producer price problem. But it is what it is. Speaking of that, Pippin. Who out there got some Pippin? 85x, man. 85x in my group. 85x. Hold this thing way back. 85x. Say that again. 85x. Oh, man. So, but yeah, it's a good time to buy back in if you sold. Because Pippin be ripping. We all know that. Now, this was kind of funny. This is not related to crypto. I was looking for content. I was like, oh, look at this. Oops. Oh, man. Oh, that's too funny. Anyways, man. I said hit that like button, right? Make sure you hit that like button. How many likes we got? We got 12 concurrent viewers, I would say. And we only got 4 likes. Come on, you guys. Punch in the goddamn balls. Jesus Christ. We got 12 watchers and then there's only 4 likes. Hit that like button. Yeah, you come around this channel, you get punched in the balls if you're not hitting like button, and also if you think there's financial advice. Never, ever think there's financial advice in this channel. There's not financial advice. None of this is financial advice. Right? None of it. Main Street. So yeah, I want to get into Litecoin. I think Litecoin is a pretty good play. I think it's one of those safer plays. This type of play, if less risky. Not like the type of play you put like $100 and see if you see if it could moon, right? Because that's like a meme coin. Litecoin, I think, is more is more of a safer play. It's like you say you have like 10 grand and you want to see if you can pull off like a 7x or an 8x or something like that. Litecoin is an OG. And I thought I was never going to get into it again, but I got into it again this past cycle. Just a few years ago. And there's also a Mimblewimble extension where Litecoin is now considered a privacy coin because you can activate a privacy feature so it masks your identity. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I haven't used it, but I was like, oh, I mean, that's pretty cool. It's in the privacy narrative now, which is it makes me even more bullish about it. I was like, okay, I was looking around at these Made in America tokens and stuff like that, and what coins are going to get the ETFs, and Litecoin is one of them. And I was trying to see what coins I want to look at and give it some extra thought. You know, like HBAR and all these other ones. I was like, which one should I give some extra thought? I mean, Litecoin is proof of work. So I always liked Litecoin. I mean, from back in the day, I was like, oh, Litecoin. It was like Litecoin is much faster than Bitcoin. So might as well use Litecoin. This was like back in the day. And eventually there was a coin called Digibyte that I got into. And you know, that was for 2017. But prior to me knowing about Digibyte, yeah, I was like, oh, I was like a Litecoin. I was like a Litecoin maxi. I was like, so yeah, I think that we have, I mean, geez, we can do at least a 10x from where it is right now. Like that will give you like a 500, let's say $500, $600 Litecoin. I think that's very doable. In fact, I would probably put it at like 800 or something like that. So $800. I'm gonna put up my sheet. So I keep forgetting. You know why I keep on forgetting about adding Litecoin to this sheet? I was making this sheet. So in my L1s, so we got Litecoin is an L1. I don't know if I should put privacy next to it or something, but yeah. Now it's the privacy in the privacy narrative. So, and what do you guys think? Maybe an $800 Litecoin? And for cycle top, I'm talking about parabolic, true cycle top, not this rinky-dink crap that we saw at the end of last year, right? No rinky-dink crap, right? I'm talking about true cycle top. Whether it's going to be, I think it's going to be 2027, or if not, 2028. But like I keep pointing out, Bitcoin didn't even go above average power law in our supposed top in October. It's crazy. It's like even the local top in 2019 was performed better than our top in, you know, October of last year. Is this crazy? So I'm talking about a true parabolic. I'm talking about one of these. Like, even look at this. This was a nice local top back in was it 2013. So we had a 2013 top, but in early 2013, you know, December 2013, early 2013, we had this amazing run up, right? So I'm talking about like one of those, like a nice cycle top. I think it's realistic. I don't even think it's like an optimistic prediction. Oops, I didn't even switch it over. I was showing the Bitcoin power law. Yeah. I was like, over here is the March. That's the March cycle. Local top in early March of 2013. And then here's the cycle top of 2013. So yeah, I mean, if we have like one of these, or even one of these local tops, like in 2019 is a local top, actually went above the Bitcoin power law, right? So it didn't happen. It didn't happen with our supposed top in 2025 October this last year. So I think a true bullish parabolic cycle top, Litecoin can go to $100, $800. Right? Probably more if we're going to go really optimistic. But that's like a 16x, which is pretty damn good. That's a. I think that's all. Yeah, I have Sui here. I know if somebody asked for Sui, do I like Sui in the beginning? Yeah, I mean it's one of my favorites. I don't have that much of it. I've never really bought into it too much. I have mostly Bitcoin, Caspa, and Toncoin, and maybe then Litecoin and so on, and then Tau. I think Sui's my smallest bag out of all of these L1s, but yeah, I mean I think it's pretty good. I think it's pretty safe, right? Yeah, what can make it here? And it's a combination of safety versus multipliers, right? But you want, when you have your list of favorites, you want to make sure that there's relative safety on it, right? Like Toshi's a pretty safe play, and you're gonna get a hell of a lot of multipliers out of it at the same time. That's a good combination. So, something like Sui, maybe 7x, meme coins are going to pump like crazy. Now, these are high risk memes I have here, which means that you can get a lot of multipliers, like an insane amount of multipliers out of them, right? But they're high risk and a low market cap, which means that, if you invest in all of them, then you probably have to expect that some of them you might go under and so on, and might lose your money, which is the case for everything. Everything can just go under and you lose your money, right? The safest thing is Bitcoin, but everything can just go under and you lose your money. But you have a higher probability of that happening with a high risk meme coin, but they're really asymmetrical. If they do good, their upside is insane, right? Right? If something goes 1,000x, you put $1,000, you get us $1 million, right? So the upside is insane. Whereas with Litecoin, it depends on how much you're investing. Put $1,000, you get 16,000. We put $10,000, it's 160,000, right? So if you get a 16x out of it, and it's relatively safer, you're like, okay, it's not going to really, for the most part, fingers crossed, it's not going to go under. Not financial advice, never financial advice. My God, man, are you out of your mind? No financial advice here, man. Did you guys click that like button? I hope you did, man. How many likes we got, man? It's crazy. Well, I'm gonna check something. Check something on my end. Let's see. Yeah, I'm in the YouTube studio in the admin right now for a second. I just want to see. Okay, refreshing. It says we got. Is that true? Is it sometimes YouTube Studio doesn't sync up with the external site on YouTube? Yeah, that's right. I see 6 likes on the public live stream, but it only shows me 5 on the back end on YouTube. Oh well. So, but click that like button, god damn it. Jesus Christ. Click that like button. Other than that, going back into everything else, you guys, drop a comment if you have anything to say, anything to go into. I do want to give a reminder of the stuff that I got, because I sent out a sell alert today, and I mentioned to make sure you use our swing trading software. And one of my members that DMs me often, said he didn't even know what I was talking about. I was like, holy crap. So maybe I haven't been talking about it recently enough. So in my community, you can log in to this website, right? If you're a member, you have to be a part of WAP. So it uses WAP authentication. So obviously you have to be a member, and whether it be premium member or VIP member, you get access to pretty much everything I got, right? So it's not only my Discord, it's not only my courses, not only all the tech that I got, it's not only the bots to help, to find like these amazing plays, like a 550x on MYX, right? right? Ooh. And you can also log into this website, right? So log in with WAP. So as long as you're logged in through WAP, it's like a Google, like sign in with Google. This one is like sign in with WAP. And once you sign in, once you sign in, you're able to use some swing trading software to track your trades. To know, you just input what your coin. Obviously, you list your coins in this particular software, and then you input how much you sold it for and how much you sold. If you sold like, let's say $50, let's say you have a bag worth $500 and you sold $50, like do 10%, like I do 10% a lot. I sell 10% as the price is going up. If it's pumping, if it pumps some more, instead of going down, I sell 10% again. And if it keeps going up, I sell 10% again. And then I see 3 different sells. And it averages my price. So I get my average sell price out of all 3 different sells that sell orders that I sold. And when the price starts going back down, it starts retracing, like with Pippin right here. Then I know that my average sell price was way up there, and the price is way down here. Let's say it's like 40%. My average sell price was 40% higher than the current price. I'm like, so cool. Now I've accumulated, let's say I sold $50 each time, for example, just to make it even. Now I have $150 in USDT, right? And Pippin's price, for example, right? Pippin's price is all the way down here. Now I'm going to take that 150 and buy back into Pippin. Now I end up with a much larger bag. I end up with more Pippin tokens because I sold all the way up there. I use the same dollar amount, buy back in. Now I got a much larger bag. So now when Pippin pumps, let's say, the example is $500. So let's say I had $500 originally worth of Pippin. But when it gets back to the same price, now maybe I have like $800 worth of Pippin, right? And if you keep doing that over and over and over again, you could 2x, 3x, or even 5x the amount of tokens in your bag. So if your initial investment was $1,000, and you keep swing trading it as it goes up and down, up and down, up and down, you end up with 5 times the amount of tokens. So when it does, let's say 100x, and your expectation is to get to make $100,000 after that original $1,000, but if you've been swing trading it and you 5x the amount of tokens in your bag, instead of $100,000, you're going to end up with $500,000. So it's like that. And so I have software in my community. All my community members have it. It doesn't matter if you're a premium member or a VIP member. I wish WAP didn't show. Like, why the hell they add this? I'll just figure out if there's a way to click on this right here. I don't know. Before it was all maximized on the screen, so maybe you just got to maximize one of them. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, so it doesn't matter if you're a VIP or a premium member. You get the same access. The only difference with the premium membership is that you get direct DM communication with me. You can talk to me whenever you want. And right now I'm working on a course that only premium. I have a getting started course for all members, but I'm working on another course that's going to be more detailed. That's going to be only for premium members only. And but yeah, I mean, go back to that. I was surprised. Maybe I should talk more about the swing trader software, because I used to talk about it a lot, right? Like back when we were flying in my community, when we were doing all that back in like September, October, but we were making all these gains, right? We did a 550x on MYX, 130x on DH and AI. We did a 94x on tutorial on BNB, and yeah, oh, this is interesting. I thought it was an 85x. Apparently my systems thinks we did a 75 rather than 85x. I want to check this out because I do have other members saying 85x as well. But we'll see. But yeah, I mean, we did all this. This isn't a bear market. It's crazy, right? We made all this in a bear market. Like Pippin didn't start ripping until like end of November. Like Pippin was like a 10 million market cap in October, and it goes up to like 850 million, right? So that's where I get the 85x from. So, but yeah, we were flying in September and October. Matt Furious Disco, that was another good one back then, and I was obviously using my swing trading software quite often, and I was talking about it all the time. But yeah, I should keep talking about it, everything I got. These are bots. The Insider Alert, which is a highly advanced bot that scans all crypto every single day, brand new, thousands and thousands of tokens, scans everything about them, and it pulls out some really good winners. Now, I don't even play all of them, right? I think that I gave it a rest. I didn't get my dead cat bounce that I wanted. I didn't get that Santa Claus rally, so I didn't really dump a lot of my tokens. So I still have a lot of them. And but yeah, there was still more. There was like, somebody pointed out in our live stream last week, the white whale. And I was like, that's familiar. And like, I didn't play. I was like, it's in a bear market in December. The Insider Alert, my bot called the white whale in December, like back here, right? You see this, right? Like back here. It's like, so okay, we want to play one of these. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! It's like that. It's like, oh my god. And yeah, I did a 10x. But you can use that if you guys want to. You guys are risk takers. You're degen players. You just you want to find a bot that just tells you. It's probably like an 80% accuracy rate or more, maybe 90%. It depends on the season. Like in a bear market, the accuracy of what the bot calls will go down because things are just rug really easy in a bear market. It gets up to like a 90% accuracy rate or more if we're in a rally. Almost everything is going to pump. So yeah, my bot called it back here. If anybody would have played it, yeah, I mean, you would have gotten into it. And like, that's the beauty of my community, right? I have bots that call these plays that not only me, like I don't have to call it, but my bot, and you can just look at it. It's the Insider Alert. It's a channel. There's a printout to the channel. There's a message every day that shows its picks. Some of them are recurring. They're on the same list, like they're on the list, but they might have been on the list yesterday and the day before and last week and so on. But it does tell you when there's new ones and says, I just found this new one, right? And it's worth a look. So if you want to get in, like I'm saying, no other community has anything like this. So you want to get in the best community ever in the world, and it's only $79 a month. It's like not like $150 like some of these other guys out there. And they don't have anything like I have. No swing trading software. No highly advanced bots calling tokens that are going to pump. They don't have any. They don't have any tracking to know when our tokens got centralized exchanges. We also have all-time high alerts. Right? They don't have. They have the list goes on and on and on. Like no community has anything like this. And they charge more money than I do. I mean, my God. Are you out of your mind? I know. This is nuts. Absolutely insane. So, and then we're eventually going to end up on one of these things. We're going to be trading from one of these. A nice, beautiful yacht. Nice, beautiful yacht. Anyways, guys, click the link in the description below. Click on, click that like. Just give that like button a pound, right? Yeah, you know what? Here, look at this. Speaking of being friendly, did you know that the most friendliest thing that you can do today is to give that like button a pound? Seriously, I'm looking for some new friends, and if you want to be my friend, just hit that like button. I'm like the friendliest guy on the planet. Trust me. And by the way, if you don't like this video, give me a thumbs down so I can track you down and beat you senseless. That's right. Give it a pound. Give it a pound, right? Woo! Zora? Yeah, I got some Zora. I mean, Zora's pretty good. I haven't really given it much attention recently, but yeah, it's hard to say with Zora. Zora is in that sort of like what's like a content creation niche. Yeah, I mean it's I mean it's definitely gonna pump. I mean, I don't know how far I could go. I don't know, I'm not really into it too much. I think it's pretty, it has it has the backing, it has the investment, it has centralized exchanges, it has 94. So it's one of those things where it's gonna do good. I can't imagine it's gonna be like under $1 billion market cap in a parabolic top, right? In the real cycle top. That's probably going to happen in 2027 or 2028. In the real one, not the fake ass garbage that we just went through, right? I mean, yeah, realistically, like a 20x could happen. Like a 10x is 700 million, right? We're at 76 million market cap. So 20x is like 1.4 billion. Like maybe we can get to 2 or 3 billion. So who knows? Not financial advice, but I mean, yeah, it's got everything. It's got OKX, it's got buyback, obviously Coinbase, crypto.com. It's Kraken, BingX. It's got all the good ones. So let me do a check right now. Let me check something here in my community. 1 second, I'll should I tell you? So just checking or something. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't. It says no. There's no. Zora is on. It says no Robinhood. How many got here? Let me go back. Back to this page. 94. Why do I have 78 here? So what's on page 10? Okay, so it's lot. Yeah, so I have a track that's 78 centralized exchanges. So when you see these duplicates at the end, this means that they've lost some centralized exchanges. So let's just say roughly 80 centralized exchanges. Yeah, I mean it's good. Is it on Robinhood? I was just checking that. I couldn't find it. Let's let me check one thing. Zora and Robinhood. Tracking in October. Yeah, specific channel. Yes. Okay. I get it. Zora was listed on, Yeah, let me share this so you guys know what I'm talking about. Hold on. Yeah, it's also on Robinhood, right? Yeah, so this is I'm talking all this stuff about my community, right? So yeah. So we have this nicely arranged where the centralized exchanges, the tier ones centralized exchanges nicely arranged, and this is the Robinhood channel in my community. So yeah, what did I just right here? Zora listed on Robinhood. So yeah, we know when things are listed on Robinhood and so on. And yeah, we can reference this. And when it comes to Zora, now hold on, in a specific channel, let's say Zora. Now, yeah, so you can see here I'm talking. So we track, we get all the centralized exchanges that is inputted in this system on October 19th. That's why we get all the centralized exchanges for our tokens. But we get notified whenever it gets listed on a centralized exchange. You don't have to go nuts when you go over to, like when you go over to CoinMarketCap, you're like, oh, like you see a whole blob basically of centralized exchanges, and it becomes really cumbersome, right? So you're like, you have no idea if it just got listed on another centralized exchange. Sometimes it doesn't really matter if it has a lot already, but if your favorite token only has like 13 centralized exchanges and you go to CoinMarketCap and like, it has 14 today, and like, did it really have 13 yesterday? Did it get another one? Which one was it? Right? When my community, like, exactly what centralized exchanges and when, and the timestamp and everything. You know exactly when it gets a centralized exchange. So that's one of the many, many benefits of being in Code Monkey Mike's community. So, anyways, guys, I'm going to call it a night. Make sure you click that link in the description below and click that goddamn like button, guys. Jeez. And I'm going to catch you guys later. Code Monkey, Code Monkey.